high-value goods on President Trump's list, semiconductors are exempted so far from the tariffs. Here in the Philippines, out of the $12.1 billion the Philippines exports to the U.S., $6.4 billion of that, or half, are electronic products. Our next guest helms up an electronics manufacturer services business in the Philippines. Among the top 25 global providers, the 10th biggest in the automotive market. Led by the Ayala Group, Integrated Microelectronics has 21 factories all over the world, including the U.S. and Mexico, Czech Republic, Bulgaria, Serbia, China, Japan, and its headquarters here in the Philippines. Publicly listed IMI during the 4% sell-off in the PSEI fell 14% along with almost all stocks. Now, the stock rose 3.7% last Tuesday, though still down more than 11% from its April 4 high. Well, with us now for more is Hughes, the CEO of Ayala-led Integrated Microelectronics Incorporated, joining us live from San Diego. So good to see you, Lou. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hello, great to be here.
All right, so what's it been like in the factory floors of IMI's headquarters in Binyan, Laguna after the tariffs came through on April 2nd?
Unchanged. I mean, nothing for us changes. It's business as usual for us. This is in fact, for the Philippines, it's really, in a way, good news because other countries in Southeast Asia saw much higher tariffs. So if anything, this has been a good thing for IMI for over the last few weeks. So it's something that we try not to pay attention to, and we just stay focused on executing and getting our jobs done.
Right, but are you getting more inquiries or securing new sales contracts from those in China, for instance, trying to escape the double, triple-digit tariffs from the U.S.?
Yeah, that's something that's been ongoing for a while now. I think a lot of the supply chain managers, a lot of the executives in the major multinational companies that we deal with globally are now and have been over the last, say, 6 or 12 months looking to move transformation out of China. So, we had 4 plants in China, and we reduced that down to 2. Just because more and more of the transformation is moving out of China to places like Southeast Asia and Mexico. We luckily have sites in Southeast Asia, Philippines, and in Mexico. So there's been a lot of business from our current customer base moving out of China, but there's also been plenty of business from our competitors who don't have the luxury of facilities in Southeast Asia and Mexico. So this has, I think, been really beneficial for us because, we do have a footprint that allows us to help customers into being able to deliver goods into the U.S., either duty-free through USMCA in Mexico or at a very low duty compared to others out of the Philippines.
Well, what about your U.S. plant? You've got a factory in the U.S. in Tustin, California. Will you or are you investing more on it, aligning with the Trump administration's aim to build more factories in the U.S.?
Yeah, so that factory was always a very small factory. It had 1 SMT line, and it was there really as a prototyping and development facility. And we decided earlier last year to close that facility because it was not making money, and the costs in California are quite high to operate a labor-intensive business that includes both SMT but also final assembly and test. So we decided to shift those resources down to Mexico and back to the Philippines, and of course to Eastern Europe for the customers that we serve out of Europe.
Right. It's really so. The indirectness of this makes sizing up the impact really difficult because many of the U.S.-made chips typically get sent to Taiwan, China, or Southeast Asia first before the final assembly, before being re-exported to your customers. So if you do the maths on the comparative tariffs, how competitive is the Philippines still as an alternative over its ASEAN neighbors?
The Philippines is incredibly competitive, and I'll tell you why. It's not just about the money, it's not just about the tariffs, but it's about the workforce. The Filipinos speak English very well. So there's no, call it third language when we're transferring products down from China and I have Chinese workers who are currently running the product in our Chinese facilities who also speak English, they come down to the Philippines and find it extremely easy to make the transition because, like Vietnam or Malaysia or Thailand, the workers in Philippines are unlike. They speak English, and so the communication is so important in these transfers that I think the Philippines has a real leg up because of that fundamental capability to speak English all the way down to our not just indirect labor or staff, but also the direct laborers. And the cost of labor in the Philippines is very low compared to other Southeast Asia countries. So, in a high mix business like the one that we're in, that becomes really important too. So I feel like the Philippines offers us and our customers an incredible advantage when it comes to executing and building complex, high mix electronics products.
So given what's gone on, Lou, before the April 2 tariffs, I know that your focus had really to become profitable, to become more competitive for bidding for sales contracts. So in what way does the escalating trade war now move your timelines to breaking even and making profit?
Has no effect. Our customers pay the tariff. All of our business is ex works or FOB port, so we don't quote anything DDP anywhere, and really most of our competition doesn't either. So at the end of the day, this is all about us just keeping our heads down, focusing on what's important. That's executing with sourcing and supply chain and getting things done within our four walls on the factory floor and shipping on time with the highest degree of quality. And if we continue to do that, we will win. And we have great people at IMI, and all those great people are focused on getting the job done. And that is what's important. All of this tariff stuff, while it's great to talk about, when it comes to our business, we just focus on what's important to be successful. And I do think ultimately our footprint, because we are in the Philippines and the Philippines does have a great relationship with the U.S., I believe that's going to give us an advantage over countries like Vietnam and Malaysia and Thailand. And those are the major countries we compete against in the electronics world within Southeast Asia.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for the silver lining, all that we need in this time of turbulence. Lou Hughes, the CEO of IMI, joining us from San Diego.